going to show you how you might go ahead and do the week 2 assignment 1, this colour wheel part of the assignment. So to start with, we'll work on the traditional colour wheel, and I like to have a colour wheel open as a guide, and this is the one over here on the right that's from Linda Holshway's Understanding Colour textbook that we're using, and you'll find it on page 46. So it's good to have that open as a guide if you like when you're doing the traditional wheel. So just click on the top one, and you might like to start with yellow. Now note that for the traditional wheel you won't be using pure hues like you will be for the other colour wheels, so it's just a matter of finding the right colour. And I'm going to remove all of the outlines at the end. Just for the moment we'll start with the outlines being in there. Now as I'm working on this, I'm keeping my eye on the red over here and just seeing if it needs adjusting so that it looks a little bit more authentic and not too pure. If it looks like a pure red, then it's not going to fit in the traditional colour wheel, because you don't get pure colours like that in the in paints quite so much. So I'm just sort of playing around with this, adding colours as I feel it needs to be added. And so, I might even switch to my HSB and think about how I can use that one to maybe lighten it up. Or so it even feels like this one needs to be a little bit desaturated to be the right blue. So then I'll go to green. So get an approximate green and then start playing with it. Obviously, I think that's pretty good. And orange. You could also try using the blend tool to get these colours, but I think you'll find that with the if you've got something open in front of you, it'll be much easier. And I'm pretty happy with that too. So, oops. Now I'm going to go for a yellow-orange, so I might just pick up the yellow and move it towards orange. And for this middle one, for these tertiary ones, you're looking for a colour that's going to fit precisely between the two, the primary and secondary that they're in the middle of, because that's what's going to make it look like a perfect blend. So if it's got, you'll see if it's got too much red in it, or like this, right now it's too close to the orange, so I just want to put a bit of red in it. And if the H scale is too small to work with, you can double click on this patch here and just work with this here, and you'll see what colour you're getting right there. So maybe that's got too much. See, that's pretty good. Maybe it's a little bit close to red, so I might even push it a little bit closer to orange. So lifting it up a bit. See, in here I'm keeping my eye on what I had before and what I've got now. It's a little bit closer to orange, and that seems pretty good. And now a red violet. I might actually start with the red and then move it towards violet. And now this is tricky, and we see keeping our eye on what we have here. Red violet's a little bit tricky to get. That's looking pretty good, so I might keep that one there. And then the same with red blue. Oh, sorry, blue violet. What am I saying? Red blue. I have a real problem talking and creating at the same time. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Maybe a little more violet in there. Too much. Looks more like a dark blue in a way. So I might have to push this one by, here we go, something like that I think is more what I'm looking for. Alright, that's not bad. And then a blue-green. Let's start with blue and move it towards green. Blue-green is tricky to get on the computer, I find. So you just have to really play with it, play with the saturation as well. That's not too bad. And then yellow-green is the last one. And look, I've just jumped in on something pretty much all right there. So then I would just, of course, fill the center circle with black, because that's what we will get if we mix all the colors together. And then I'm just going to go ahead and select that entire wheel and remove the stroke value, just like that. Okay, and that's looking really great. Now, the additive and subtractive wheels are much easier, which you'll be glad to know. So, we'll start with yellow up the top. With the additive wheel, we're going to use red, green, and blue as our primary colors. So they're going to go in these larger ones here. So I'm actually going to work with RGB color panel, because I'm only going to be using pure hues here. Okay, so we'll get red first, and so it's going to be 25500, and then I'm going to put green here, so 02550, and blue here, which will be 00255. And then we'll work with the ones in between. We'll get magenta here very easily, and we'll get cyan, yellow here, and cyan here. Oh gosh, so easy, isn't it? Now, to get the colors in between, I'm going to use the blend tool. So I'm just going to make a little sketch area for myself here, and I'm going to set it up so I've got my blend, oops, I've already set my blend options. My blend options are one specified step, and then I'm just going to make my blend, and I'm going to use my color picker to pick that one up. And then I'm just going to really simply go around and switch the colors out, because that's what's going to make it the easiest way to do this for me. So you might want to do the same. So now we're going from blue to magenta. That means this is my violet. And from switch this out to red, and then I'll get this in between color, and I'll switch the magenta out for yellow, and I'll get this in between color, and I'll switch the yellow out there, and I'll get this in between color. So it's really easy. And then, of course, you simply translate everything that's here into the subtractive wheel, except in different places. So instead of having red at the top here, we might have yellow, because the primary colors here are yellow, cyan, and magenta, and then the secondary colors are going to be red, oops, green, blue, and red. And then you can use the same tertiary colors too. So I mean, it's just so easy to go around and just pick them up with your color picker or your eyedropper tool. Okay, and that's the assignment done. Of course, you're going to want to go ahead and remove the outlines. Whoops, we should fill in the circles first. Now, the additive circle is going to fill to white, so we don't need to worry too much about that. But what I'm going to do is lock that down so that when I take the stroke values away, that doesn't go away. So I'm just going to go Object, Lock Selection. And here we're going to fill that with black, because subtractive colors mix to black. Then I'm just going to go and select the whole thing and remove the stroke value once more. There we go. Perfect. Okay, ready to submit. Of course, you want to delete that if you need to. If you've got any questions, just let me know.